Man, know yourself, and you shalt know the gods. People bring about their own undoing through their tongues. If one tries to navigate unknown waters, one runs the risk of shipwreck. If you search for the laws of harmony, you will find knowledge. Listen to your conviction, even if they seem absurd to your reason. Experience will show you, a master can only point the way. Love is one thing, knowledge is another. Leave him in error who loves his error. True sages are those who give what they have, without meanness and without secret. Organization is impossible unless those who know the laws of harmony lay the foundation. One foot isn't enough to walk with. An answer brings no illumination unless the question has matured to a point where it gives rise to this answer, which thus becomes its fruit. Therefore learn how to put a question. Know the world in yourself. Never look for yourself in the world, for this would be to project your illusion. The only thing that is humiliating is helplessness. Seek peacefully, you will find. You will free yourself when you learn to be neutral and follow the instructions of your heart without letting things perturb you. This is the way of Maat. Judge by cause, not by effect. The first thing necessary in teaching is a master, the second is a pupil capable of carrying on the tradition. The man who knows how to lead one of his brothers towards what he has known may one day be saved by that very brother. For every joy there is a price to be paid. Not the greatest master can go even one step for his disciple. In himself he must experience each stage of developing consciousness. Therefore he will know nothing for which he is not ripe. The best and shortest road towards knowledge of truth is nature. Everyone finds himself in the world where he belongs. The essential thing is to have a fixed point from which to check its reality now and then. By knowing one reaches belief. By doing one gains conviction. When you know, dear, grain must return to the earth, die, and decompose for new growth to begin. Every man is rich in excuses to safeguard his prejudices, his instincts, and his opinions. True teaching is not an accumulation of knowledge, it is an awakening of consciousness which goes through successive stages. What reveals itself to me ceases to be mysterious for me alone if I unveil it to anyone else. He hears mere words which betray the living sense profanation, but never revelation. Understanding develops by degrees. An answer if profitable in proportion to the intensity of the quest. The way of knowledge is narrow. In every vital activity it is the path that matters. The only active force that arises out of possession is fear of losing the object of possession. For knowledge, you should know that peace is an indispensable condition of getting it. The first concerning the secrets all cognition comes from inside. We are therefore initiated only by ourselves, but the master gives the keys. If the master teaches what is error, the disciple's submission is slavery. If he teaches truth, this submission is ennoblement. A man can't be judge of his neighbor intelligence. His own vital experience is never his neighbor's. Routine and prejudice distort vision. Each man thinks his own horizon is the limit of the world. Have the wisdom to abandon the values of a time that has passed and pick out the constituents of the future. An environment must be suited to the age and men to their environment. Proverbs: men need images. Lacking them they invent idols. Better then to found the images on realities that lead the true seeker to the source. Proverbs: popular beliefs on essential matters must be examined in order to discover the original thought. All is within yourself. Know your most inward self and look for what corresponds with it in nature. The seed includes all the possibilities of the tree. The seed will develop these possibilities, however, only if it receives corresponding energies from the sky. Maat, who links universal to terrestrial, the divine with the human, is incomprehensible to the cerebral intelligence. Growth in consciousness doesn't depend on the will of the intellect or its possibilities but on the intensity of the inner urge. There grows no wheat where there is no grain. Every man must act in the rhythm of his time, such is wisdom. Knowledge is not necessarily wisdom. Social good is what brings peace to family and society. Man must learn to increase his sense of responsibility and of the fact that everything he does will have its consequences. Peace is the fruit of activity, not of sleep. The second concerning the way the seeker has need of a master to guide him and lift him up when he falls, to lead him back to the right way when he strays. To teach one must know the nature of those whom one is teaching. If his heart rules him, his conscience will soon take the place of the rod. If you are searching for an eater, observe nature. To know means to record in one's memory, but to understand means to blend with the thing and to assimilate it oneself. As to deserving, know that the gift of heaven is free. This gift of knowledge is so great that no effort whatever could hope to deserve it. There are two kinds of error: blind credulity and piecemeal criticism. Never believe a word without putting its truth to the test. Discernment does not grow in laziness, and this faculty of discernment is indispensable to the seeker. Sound skepticism is the necessary condition for good discernment, but piecemeal criticism is an error. The body is the house of God. That is why it is said, "Man, know yourself." Each truth you learn will be, for you, as new as if it had never been written. When the governing class isn't chosen for quality, it is chosen for material wealth. This always means decadence, the lowest stage a society can reach. A pupil may show you by his own efforts how much he deserves to learn from you. What you are doing does not matter so much as what you are learning from doing it. If you defy an enemy by doubting his courage, you double it. Envious greed must govern to possess, and ambition must possess to govern. We mustn't confuse mastery with mimicry, knowledge with superstitious ignorance. Your body is the temple of knowledge. A man's heart is his own eater. No discussion can throw light if it wanders from the real point. A house has the character of the man who lives in it. The key to all problems is the problem of consciousness. All see dance light, but the color is different. If you would build something solid, don't work with wind. Always look for a fixed point, something you know that is stable, yourself. Knowledge is consciousness of reality. Reality is the sum of the laws that govern nature and of the causes from which they flow. If you would know yourself, take yourself as starting point and go back to its source. Your beginning will disclose your end. The seed cannot sprout upwards without simultaneously sending roots into the ground. Altruism is the mark of a superior being. A phenomenon always arises from the interaction of complementary. If you want something, look for the complement that will elicit it. Seth causes Horus. Horus redeems Seth. The plant reveals what is in the seed. It is the passive resistance from the helm that steers the boat. Always watch and follow nature. Our senses serve to affirm, not to know. If you defy an enemy by doubting his courage, you double it. It is better not to know and to know that one does not know, than presumptuously to attribute some random meaning to symbols. The nut doesn't reveal the tree it contains. Physical consciousness is indispensable for the achievement of knowledge. Our senses serve to affirm, not to know. All organs work together in the functioning of the whole. Exuberance is a good stimulus towards action, but the inner light grows in silence and concentration. Egyptian Proverbs